Less is more. Don't hide behind the learning. Just take action. One of the biggest things that we focus on is really just time. People being able to get their time back. Ultimately, the experience that we try to create for our students as well as our members is really to help them move forward. We revolve it around something called a success path. A lot of times we think that more is better when actually smaller structured pieces of content is much better. When there is more to consume, it overwhelms people, but it also gives them a reason to not make progress and to move forward. We just have to keep learning and keep learning and keep learning. And when we do that, we stop doing and we stop taking action.
Welcome back, everyone, to another session of Searchie Spotlight. My name is Paulina, and I'm thrilled to be joined today by someone from our team, actually, to talk about the membership experience. So I'd love to welcome Rebecca from the TME team today. Rebecca, tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and who you serve.
Sure. So my name is Rebecca, and I am the brand lead here for the membership experience. That essentially means that I keep the ship running. So I'm responsible for creating different ways and coming up with different ways for our members and our students to be able to make progress in their memberships.
Awesome. So the membership experience is a couple different things. So we have the membership experience, the course,
Yes.
and the membership experience plus, which is the membership. So
Yes.
I want to walk through some terms that we often hear in the industry because I feel like we'd love to get, those definitions for those terms.
Yeah.
But what does front end and back end mean? And what's the relationship between the course and the membership?
So front end membership essentially means that you have your membership open to the public all of the time. So it's almost kind of on an evergreen basis, and people can come in without having to consume specific content to be able to join. A back-end membership is typically run off the back of a course. And so that's essentially where people are going through your course and getting a foundation of knowledge to be able to join your membership. That's how we have our back-end membership set up. We run the membership experience. It helps us to create a strong foundation for people to be able to start, implement, and grow their memberships. And then when they come into the membership experience plus, that's where we can really support them in moving forward. And so we can help with strategies. We can just support them as a community as they move forward in their memberships. So that's kind of how we have put things together on our end.
Thank you so much for that, Rebecca. And I wanted to touch on what you talked about in terms of the course representing more foundational knowledge, because I feel like this really opens up a lot of potential that can sometimes feel overwhelming when it comes to the content for the membership specifically. Because on one hand, the course is meant to serve all of that foundational knowledge, as you're saying, the support and the strategies coming through with the membership. And I love that there's two angles here, because on one end, you are teaching your members about memberships. And then from another angle, you're also using how you run your own membership as teaching content. There's teaching and learning potential for students inside of the membership experience in terms of the actual content that you offer and also how you deliver, package, and support your members through a membership as well. Leaning on that as well, because you do serve a lot of content creators, I wanted to ask about the different trends that you're seeing, because as we mentioned, serving other content creators means that we're constantly talking about different trends and insights that are currently shaping the industry so that we can stay up to date and so that everyone can support their students and their members. And AI has been making all of the, news waves in terms of, how will this change how we deliver content and what does this mean for the future of online and digital-based business system? How do you see artificial intelligence kind of shifting the membership space? And what lessons have we taken away so far, at least, because it's changing every single day in terms of how AI shifts for memberships?
Yeah, for sure. So there's a lot to get into there that we could get into, but I know we only have so much time. So in terms of what we are seeing in the membership space, and what Stu is really actually starting to teach on the front end and help people just really open up to the possibilities of what AI can do for you and your business. One of the biggest things that we focus on is really just time and people being able to get their time back and to not feel the stress and the pressure to kind of have to come up with everything completely on your own. And so that's not to say that you're going to use AI and then never have any of your own creative ideas again or never have a unique thought, but really just being able to take it and do kind of the brunt work for it. You know what I mean? Like where you just kind of can put something in, you get something back, and then you can tweak it and then really make it your own. The biggest thing in that respect, kind of on the front end of what we're starting to kind of talk about a lot, is just the value of the time that it's going to save you in creating content and in conceptualizing different things for your membership.
That's amazing. And I'm really glad that you made that separation between, saving time both on the front end and what the users see, and then also on the back end in terms of, us as a team and how much time it takes to support students as well. Because at the end of the day, you always want to find more efficient ways of getting the job done while also making sure that we're always serving students with the best possible content. And with that, I wanted to talk a little bit about what's in the name as well, because the membership experience kind of sends the message that there is an experience to be had.
For sure.
And there is a lot of thought that goes into how your team designs a very unique content experience for everyone that goes through your doors. So what advice do you have for other content creators as they're building their content experience in order to specifically create a very rich and engaging content experience for every member? And what kind of tools do you have in your toolkit to help your team when it comes to the delivery of that content experience?
Ultimately, the experience that we try to create for our students as well as our members is really to help them move forward. If you've ever heard Stu talk anywhere, you will hear him say over and over and over, keep moving forward, one step in front of the other. And so that's really how we pull things together and try to create experience. We create consumable, like small chunks of content that people can kind of take one step at a time. We revolve it around something called a success path. And so that really is designed to help people guide them through the milestones of the foundation that we're hoping to provide for them. One milestone at a time, action steps, and being able to move forward in small consumable pieces of content. And the other thing that is really important to note that we make sure that we're always thinking about is that too much content can lead to overwhelm. And when people feel overwhelmed, that's when they stop or quit or want to leave your membership. A lot of times we think that more is better when actually smaller structured pieces of content is much better. For the overall experience, we just want to make it kind of a smooth success path, I guess.
That's awesome, Rebecca. And I think you touched on a couple things there that I want to follow up, but I want to give you the opportunity to also answer the second part of that question, which is, that's the content experience, and what tools have you used to kind of lean on creating that content experience that reduces overwhelm and kind of points people to the content that they should be consuming based on where they are in their journey?
Well, we've really been leaning into Wisdom as of late. So what we've been able to do with Wisdom is take hours and hours of content that we have, because, we've been doing this for several years now. So we've been able to take hours and hours of content that we have and kind of slip it into the back end out of sight for people, but it's still accessible. So we're able to use Wisdom in a way where people can ask a question. It will still pull from all of that content that we have, but visually it's not in front of them and overwhelming them and also kind of distracting them from making progress. So that's something that we notice a lot in our community. When there is more to consume, it overwhelms people, but it also gives them a reason to not make progress and to move forward, because we have that kind of thought that we just have to keep learning and keep learning and keep learning. And when we do that, we stop doing and we stop taking action. So we've taken it out of sight, but still accessible. And the really cool thing is that we still have it turned on where people can get the answer, and it will also reference where the answer is coming from. So it will pull up. The content's still available, but again, it's not in front of them and it's not overwhelming them. And on the back end of that, the back end, is that it helps our customer success team also be able to provide answers quickly and to teach our members how to do the same. So we've started implementing where our customer success team will actually screen share them using Wisdom inside of the membership and saying, I see your question. I asked, we call our little guy Seeker inside of it's Wisdom, but we've named him Seeker. And so they'll screen share themselves getting the answer and then share that. And so that is just, again, giving people agency and showing them, that they can kind of take control in their own business. They can empower themselves to get the answer, to be able to make that next best step. Does that answer your question?
Yes. And Rebecca, what a phenomenal answer, because I feel like you touched on so many things that we see in this space that sometimes doesn't get nearly enough airtime. So I think we're here to give it that airtime.
Yeah.
And what I'm taking away from this is that constraint is a very healthy thing inside of content experiences, because just as you said, we can only hide behind learning for so long. When you give people less content on the front end, what you're doing is, as you said, really empowering them to consume that foundational content from the course and the personalized content that they should go through. And all that's left to do is really take responsibility and make progress in their own membership journeys as well. This has been phenomenal.
Yay.
If you could give one piece of advice to everyone who's currently, managing and trying to downsize their content experience, what would you say to people?
I would just say that less is more. You don't have to feel like the value is in giving more of you, giving more content, and that when you can really wrap your head around that and focus on just helping people make progress, it's just going to relieve so much pressure and stress from you creating your own experience and your experience as a membership site owner. So less is more. Don't hide behind the learning. Just take action.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rebecca. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And we'll catch you on another session of Searchie Spotlight.